Hello everyone, and welcome back to Tooncraft, the second, episode 3. I've been pretty busy in between this episode and last episode, and I've built two houses, and this one I'm very, very proud of. I think I've nailed down the style I want to use for this village. Now, I haven't done the interiors on this one or this one, but that's because this took an insane amount of time, and you can see by the sign here, never again. This was a bit of a pain to build, and by a bit I mean a lot, but you know, if we come out here, I think the shape of the roof is pretty good, but I don't want to do it again. So that means we're going to have to rearrange the village a little bit, because if you remember last episode, I said I was going to challenge myself and build a bunch of houses like that, which I realized I don't really have that much time to do. So, what I want to start off with is just rearranging this area in order to make it a little bit easier to build with. Now, don't get me wrong, I would absolutely love to build a bunch of houses like this one behind me, all skewed as they are, around this village. However, like I said, the time aspect isn't that great, and I want to get this village out within a reasonable amount of time for your enjoyment. So I do hope you understand. And with that said, I do still plan on having a lot of detail in this town, like with this house over there. So don't worry, I'm not sacrificing any of that. I'm just making the shapes a little bit easier to manage. So, my change of plans actually didn't really involve that much rearranging of the village structure, other than this house and this house, which I actually want to keep for now, just because it's a one-off. Maybe it'll look cool in the end. Well, this will be more of a later time project. But with that other time I had left over, I just built another house. Now, you can see this one's also on a slant, but it's a straight slant. It's not a weird groovy slant like that, so I'm going to stick with houses like these since they're quite a lot quicker to build. This took me maybe 20 minutes to build. That one took me like 3 hours, so you can see the time difference here. I've also extended the street down here, and I will continue to do so, and I want to build a few more houses before we move on to our next thing, because I don't want to focus on the village for the whole video. That might be a little bit boring. Not because the town itself is boring, but because the process of doing the same thing over and over and over again might get a little bit tedious. So I want to divvy it up a little bit, make this episode interesting. In that last little segment there, I hadn't actually finished this house. So I've finished that up, and I've built another one that more closely resembles the houses I experimented with last time in my creative world. You can see this sign here is actually my recording notes. I write little notes for myself when I do recordings, but I didn't have my pen and paper nearby, so I just wrote it on a sign, but we don't need that anymore. Whoa. I'm getting tongue-tied. Anyways, all I did to change this house was add a little bit more dip to the roof and obviously add this little overhang here. And I just thought, since I'm recording now, I'd just show the other side of this, which I'm actually quite proud of, having this little outcropping here. It makes the house not symmetrical and look a little bit better, I think. Anyways, now, let's move on to an undisclosed location where we have this rabbit head that I acquired on my journey over to this island. If you remember episode 1, it quite terrified Dusk, and I want to do something with it. I want to make a lair. So, we're going to use this space and construct, close up, we're going to construct a little, I guess, burrow for the rabbit. Perhaps, maybe a rabbit-themed person, but who knows? Not me. So, to start off this burrow, now I know that sounds like the house name from Harry Potter, the Weasley's house, but it isn't. To start it off, I want to dig this area out and make it kind of like a little cavern with 2 hills. One for the head and one for the entrance. You're going to drop onto a hill, at least for now, and walk over here and see the holy head in its great entirety. Jeez, I'm going a little bit far with this. This is fun. I'm gonna say 1/3 of the way through, and I'm already getting pretty excited about this. This is gonna look cool. You can see it's already kind of taken shape. It's a new day, and I've been at this for a little while, and I've finished digging out the rest of the cave, and I have to say, I'm really liking how this is looking. It's definitely turning out better than I thought it was. The plan for it is still remaining the same, having 2 mounds, one to drop into from a hole in the ceiling, hole that isn't there right now, and then probably a bridge to go over here to view this, and then have a little moat down here to fill with leaves, obviously water, and possibly other forms of foliage, but we'll get to there in a little bit. Right now, I just want to kind of prettyify the cave walls, because obviously we have big patches of bird poop looking stuff and granite, and it's not as cool looking as it could be, so we're just gonna clean it up a little bit. now that I have all these slabs and I can't find my way to the top. This is a little bit of... I think I might have found a way. No, I haven't found a way. I'm gonna be here for a bit. Oh, no, I did, and on camera. That was completely unscripted, I swear. Anyways, now that I'm up here, I thought I'd give a little bit of a progress report. So I've eliminated all the other stones. Oh, I missed an iron ore there. And put andesite and cobblestone in their places. And I've made the roof completely dirt because I want to have, you know, I want to make this look a little bit like a burrow. So I thought I'd have some kind of dirt component in it because usually burrows are above stone. I mean, burrows, it's pretty hard for a bunny to burrow in rock. I mean, from my experiences and what I know about bunnies. But you never know. There could be some monster bunnies out there. Who am I to judge? Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I'm gonna scale the cobblestone back a little bit because it's a bit too messy for my liking. And now that the cobblestone is scaled back a slight bit, I'm liking this a lot more. I've also finished everything else. Anyways, so I've filled the moat area around here. I dug a little bit further down, as you might have glimpsed briefly in that last clip, and I've added some sugarcane. Now I'm a little bit concerned of the sand, because I can't add it to any other block that blends in more. Sand seems to be the best fit for this situation. However, it doesn't really blend in that well with the stone. But I've tried filling the floor with it, and it just doesn't seem to fit either. So I'm a little bit torn on whether or not I should take these out. But you can always leave your thoughts about this in the comments. I've also put some lily pads here, and of course oak leaves on the ground, and spruce leaves on the ceiling, because the spruce leaves are nice and dark. So they blend a little bit better with the dirt on the ceiling, in my opinion anyways. I think it looks pretty nifty. I've also replaced the torches... Ooh, that was a little bit of a judder there. I've also replaced the torches with lanterns because they're a little less garish, and I think they fit better in the situation. And I've made this bridge out of oak instead of spruce, which I was originally going to make it out of, because it stands out a lot more against the darker backdrop of the ceiling and water. I think it looks pretty good as it is, although I'm still debating the oak choice. I like the shape, but the oak is kind of so leave a comment about that as well if you like. And that's kind of where I want to leave this project for now. It is not done. It's by far not done. I have plenty of plans for it, but I'm not going to disclose any of that because that would be spoilers, and spoilers aren't fun. So it's just going to remain... Ooh, F5, where's F5? There we go, F5. Press it again. Our little secret. Well, my little secret, since you don't know. Antics aside, know that this little project will be returning, so don't worry, it's not the end. And before I wrap this episode up, I thought I'd have a go at designing one of the interiors of the houses, so I've tackled the first house I built and made it into kind of like a little mine storage area. So we've got some coal here, iron with trapdoors, as well as on the gold to kind of simulate bits and pieces on the ground, kind of in a messy environment. That's what I wanted for this. And I've got stairs going up this way, although you do have to crouch to get up them, into a loft area that isn't very well furnished. I wasn't too sure on what to put up here, so I just didn't really put anything. Although, something might come to me later on, and I'll come back to this build and add some furniture, but for now it's just kind of empty. You might be surprised how well you can furnish a cramped interior. I mean, I was when I was doing this. I didn't know I would be able to fit all of this stuff in until I did. Now, last episode, if you remember, I was talking about making every one of these buildings functional, and I haven't forgotten that because if you look at this chest here, you can see it's got two hoppers attached to the bottom, and this connects directly to my little mini smelter here, so this house does have some function. Also, the floor opens up, if you haven't registered that already, to my mine and my enchanting setup and everything. So yeah, I think that's pretty fun and a pretty good way to end the episode. So, I'd like to thank you very much for watching. Gotta find my F5 key again. There we go. And have a good day. See ya. Recording mode, here we come. Okay. Here we go. Pumped up. Let's go. Key in. Ready to go. Woo! Okay. Pumped up. Oh, and it's getting dark. Okay, well, I'll record in the dark.